I got breaking news.
Do you?
Yeah, you probably know about it, but you probably forgot about it already.
Oh my goodness! All right. I hit start streaming. I don't see it live yet.
Yeah, we're live.
Are we?
Yep. I see Assassin's mug looking back and forth.
On YouTube? Are you sure?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Let me refresh the page because I can't see that. Yeah, look at that. We are. Okay, excellent. All right, let's just start it then. Welcome everyone to Wow, I can't even speak. 4GwQPodcast podcast. This is episode number 135 for May 18th, 2017. We've got a few good topics. This is kind of a slow week in gaming news. We'll get a little bit into the Destiny stuff, but not much, since that stuff kind of just broke today. So we'll be talking about Phantom Dust coming to Xbox One and PC. So we'll talk about what we think of that game. We'll talk about Injustice 2, of course. That just came out this week, finally. A lot of people loving it, so we'll get into our thoughts on that. Apparently, Witcher is coming to Netflix in some capacity, so we'll get into that, whether or not that's good for the franchise and whether or not that's better than making a real movie. We're going to talk about Ubisoft's fiscal year releases. Apparently, they've got 4 big franchises coming out with games this year. Halo 6 not being at E3. We'll talk about E3 scheduling and a few weird gaming news topics, which is our new weird news of the week. I'm sorry, is what won on Twitter, the Twitter poll to name our new segment. So yeah, let me just introduce everyone. I'm Inferno 217, making his 135th straight appearance. We've got the not so zoomed in this week. ZB is asking what's going on. We can see a whole face. What's up?
Hi.
And yeah, I mean, it's just nice to see your entire face this week, and
On my forehead.
not making love to the webcam. Some people may like that, some people may not. So we'll leave it up to them to decide whether or not this is a positive or a negative thing. As you can see, Taylor's not with us. She is busy doing training some employees to take over her job because she's getting a little bit of a promotion. So congrats on that, Taylor. And last but not least, we have Italian Clowns. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, people?
Nothing much. Kind of a weird week in gaming news. Not really too much too super exciting. I mean, Injustice is exciting. The Destiny 2 stuff, I guess, is exciting. But apparently, Clowns, you have some information about the Destiny 2 reveal that you were pretty shocked about today. So tell us what you discovered when you looked up the reveal stuff.
Now, we all know that YouTube is like the place to go for big reveals and stuff because it's like worldwide everywhere. You know, everybody watches YouTube. Everybody proxies and gets by their country's ISP to go on YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
So YouTube had 39,000 people watching the Destiny 2 reveal, and the chat was disabled. So, yeah, I'm sorry, Twitch. I think you bought your channel, friends at Twitch. But yeah, that looks like a big disappointment.
I don't understand how Twitch. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta think. How does Twitch have 300,000 people watching and YouTube only 30,000+, like 1/10 of the amount of views? And YouTube, you'd figure, has higher quality. Like you said, the place where people go to watch this kind of thing. How do they have so few compared to Twitch? And don't tell me it's because comments were disabled and they weren't on Twitch. No one reads the comments on the Twitch. It's going so fast. People just say penis and draw pictures of dicks and stuff with it, with the characters and the keyboard and all that. People just do stupid shit in there. So it's not because of the chat. So, Sassy, you have any thoughts on this? Why it was so low?
It could be because the time. I don't know. It was early.
No, dude. It was. We're comparing how many people they had on Twitch to how many people on YouTube.
Oh, well, I don't know. Bots and such, I don't know.
Well, where did you watch the reveal?
I watched it later on YouTube.
Oh, okay. All right. Well.
And he's a millennial, and he watched it on YouTube, not Twitch. See?
Right. Silly millennials.
The Twitch Xbox app sucks. So
yeah, that's
get
true.
your shit together, Twitch.
That's true. Before we get on with the rest of the show, I want to go ahead and shout out our affiliates. We've been seeing some stats on these things, and I know you people shop at Best Buy, you people shop at GameStop, you people shop at Amazon. Use our affiliate links. You don't have to spend any more money. We greatly appreciate if you do it. You just go on, click our link that's in the description below in the YouTube description. You will find the affiliate links there. Just click it. Don't necessarily buy what comes up on the screen. Just buy anything that you normally would. Pay the normal price, and we will get a little bit of a referral fee that will go towards making this channel better, this podcast better. With giving it back to you guys with giveaways and stuff like that. So definitely check out the affiliates below. Thank you, affiliates. We appreciate having that opportunity, but we're seeing some clicks for some random purchases, especially on Amazon. So definitely check that out. I know you guys shop there, so if you just do it through that link, that would be greatly appreciated. All right, well, let's begin this week with the topic of the week. I think the thing that people were pretty shocked about. If you're an Xbox gamer, it's the topic of the week, I think. Phantom Dust kind of like Phantom launched, if you will. Aaron Greenberg announces, Phantom Dust is coming out for Windows 10 and Xbox One Play Anywhere tomorrow, he said on his post. So very next day it came out. It came out later in the day, which was kind of weird. But people were asking, where is this game? Where is this game? Where is this game? It wasn't out yet on the store. And then it launched later in the day. So you guys had a chance to play it, and I know Assassin's probably the one who has kind of the strongest thoughts on this. So, Assassin, why don't you go ahead and take it away, bud?
Game sucks. It plays terribly. It looks bad. It should not have even came out, and it was a waste of time and resources. That's all I have to say.
Wow, don't be too kind. Jeez.
Okay.
Unbelievable. There's a dog barking outside my window, by the way. So yeah, waste of resources, bad. Gameplay's bad. Looks bad. All right, clowns. What do you think? Do you agree with all that, or?
Okay, so I know Xbox really tried to do solid for its fans, and there are some diehard fans of the original. Probably like a small percentage, maybe like 3% of Xbox gamers. I'm just coming up with a number out of nowhere. But so they tried to do us a favor, and it was a good effort, right? Great effort. Awesome that they ported it for those 3%. But promoting this like it's the next coming of Christ was the worst mistake ever. Because this is not going to bring people over. This is not going to make the whole fan base, like the casuals that are not on Twitter, be like, oh my God, we got Phantom Dust. Most people are like, what the hell is this crap? Like, they would have done better with, like, a reboot of Conquer. But, hey, it is what it is. And it's one of Phil's favorites, just like Voodoo Vince. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And I think that's kind of something to get into because about Xbox promoting this is a big release. And, when they're talking about when not only Xbox people, but, Xbox fans talk about the big releases of the year. They listed stuff like Voodoo Vince. They listed stuff like Phantom Dust as exclusives coming to Xbox One, kind of pump up the the 2017 lineup. But now they're pushing this thing. They put it out for free, kind of like nonchalantly announced that it's coming for free. And now that they spent a long time pushing this yesterday, a lot of effort went into it. And I can't help but think, Assassin, that they may have put too much effort into pumping this, and they should have just released it, and it would have been a nice add-on kind of game, but it shouldn't have been a feature thing. Do you agree with that?
Well, I mean, it looks like they've done nothing, so why spend the time to remake, I put that in quotes, remake the game, when they could just put, the OG Xbox backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Give it to free.
Yeah, and, we've talked about this on the show, and I've talked about this on other shows. We talked about this on Doug Podcast a little bit when I was on there. But I don't want to say that this is just like a straight port, because it isn't. You know what I mean? They had to it's not like they took the game data that they could have gotten, because they didn't get a lot of game data for this. It's not like they just got the game and just like re-released it. They had to code a lot of this stuff because they didn't have the assets, and they made it, widescreen aspect ratio for today's displays. It's not 4:3, it's 16:9. And they did improve the visuals a little bit, but that said, I tend to agree with Assassin here. I think the menus are dated. The menus are very much like an OG Xbox backwards compatible kind of game. The cutscenes are extremely dated. The cutscenes are not redone. And a lot of the mechanics are outdated. I would have rather than put out Phantom Dust 2 or Phantom Dust Remastered than put out this, because I don't consider this Phantom Dust Remastered. I don't think anyone, and it's not called that. You know what I mean? It's not called Phantom Dust Remastered, and it's not called that for a reason, because the only thing that's remastered about it is some of the visuals. So it's kind of disappointing. And I see in the chat, and it's a fair point from Mr. Sky Blue 1972 says, Phantom Dust is free, so lay off it. But that's the problem. Yeah, it's a free release, but it was part of the big plan for Xbox. You know what I mean? It was part of this year's exclusives. It was pumped up at multiple locations, pumped up by a lot of people, Aaron Greenberg included, the head of marketing over there. And when you're pumping this up, you can't just excuse it for being free. I'm sorry. I don't think you can do that. To some point, I think your point is extremely valid, but to another point, you can't feature it as, part of your major lineup for 2017, and try to compete and then just brush it off. Do you guys agree with that? Like, just because it's free, we should just give it a pass?
Just because it's free doesn't make it good. I mean, there's a bunch of free games that are utter trash. So
Candy Crush.
Trash.
Witch Bubble Balloon Popper thing that my wife plays.
Yeah,
Trash.
They're free-to-plays that come out that are beyond this, way beyond this. Smite,
Peggle.
Paladins. Peggle is not free-to-play.
It is on PC.
Oh, on PC. Okay, all right. Or mobile as well, in some shape or fashion. So, just if you're just speaking on consoles, like Neverwinter blows us away in quality. And granted, I know what people are saying. Like, people are saying they couldn't get all the code. This is the best they could do, whatever. But, they made a run at it. And unfortunately, I don't think the run was good enough. I don't think this is getting anyone to come over to Xbox to check out Phantom Dust. I don't think this is the Japanese-style game that people are asking for these days. People are seeing games like Persona 5, like Nier Automata, games like that coming out on PlayStation. And, personally, I look forward to playing those on PlayStation because I'm not, an Xbot or a Sony Pony or whatever you want to call them as the truck goes by my window. But you guys know what I mean. Like, if you're a hardcore Xbox guy, you're not. I don't think any hardcore Xbox people are happy being like, yeah, we got Phantom Dust, man. Whew, score that for us.
There's probably that one person.
I mean, put it this way: there's people that get Gears of War tattoos, right? Because they love Gears of War. Would you get a Phantom Dust tattoo?
Yeah, right.
If it was like that small and hidden behind clothes and. Sure. And I was paid to do it.
Paid to do it.
That's the thing. And the thing is that, like, if it were a cult classic, that came back and they remastered it and pretty much brought out just the same thing, like Voodoo Vince, for instance, right? Voodoo Vince, I feel like I'm in the minority crushing that game. I feel like a lot of people are giving that game the benefit of the doubt because Voodoo Vince was kind of a cult classic on the Xbox One. Revered by a lot of people as being a very solid platformer. And, I'm in the minority because I think it doesn't look very good. I think it plays outdated. Same thing with Phantom Dust. But, that one, people are giving the pass. Like, that's $15. It's not even free. People are giving Voodoo Vince a pass. But this, like... This is so outdated in so many ways. I mean, I could just go on and on and on about how this is outdated. And
well, we got time.
Yeah, no, we do have time. Okay. I'll bring it up and see if you guys agree with this. So, like, the attacking, when you make an attack, it is so slow to make the attack And by the time you pull it off, you either miss because they're running around. Wow, I gotta close this window. You either miss or because they're running around, or it's not accurate, or they hit you in the time it takes to attack, and you can't defend in time. I think that mechanism is just outdated. Do you agree with that?
Definitely. It's terrible. Made me quit the game. That's where I literally ended, when you were being taught how to attack. And I'm like, nope, stupid. Delete.
See, and it sucks because I like the fact that you can assign, you pick up the orbs on the battlefield, and I like that, those use kind of like mana points or whatever, and you pick up those orbs for attack and defense abilities, and you can assign them to the face buttons. I think that's a really cool mechanic. I just think executing them afterwards is just very slow.
Yep.
I mean, what else is wrong with the game? It's very dark. The game is very dark. The single player, I think, adds very little. I think the multiplayer is where it's at if you're going to play this thing. I think that navigating around the map in the tower, or whatever you want to call it — it's not the tower, but the centralized area where you pick up the missions, talk to the NPCs — I think that area is very dark. The navigation is very clunky. There isn't like an indicator where you're at. It's just the room that you're in. There's no indicator showing like exactly where you're at so you can navigate better. It's just like, okay, you're in this room. Now, where am I in this room? You have no idea. So that sucks. That's outdated. I don't know. You guys have anything else that's like very specific that's a qualm about it, or?
No, not about the game specifically, but I do question the judgment on what's going on behind the scenes. And I'm not blaming anybody in particular. I'm sure this was
Definitely
like
not.
multiple people involved, probably something for a while. They want to surprise people. But, I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking about Fable Legends, right? I know Fable Legends had a way higher cost of production. But at this point, and at the stage Fable Legends was in, I would have rather have had Fable Legends come out before E3 than Phantom Bust.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. I think Fable Legends, it makes you question the decision making. Like, you close Lionhead and you get rid of that game, but you greenlight this and pump it up as much as you do to make it seem like it's something great. It's not great. Like, I invite anyone to not argue with me, but just educate me on what makes Phantom Dust a good game, because, I played a couple hours of this, to be honest, not very much, and it was mostly single player, and I think that what I played is not going to make me go back and want to keep going. Whereas Voodoo Vince, there's at least a chance, because it's a cult classic, there's a decent story, it's a platformer, it's an approachable gameplay style that I like other games that are like that, Ukulele, Ratchet and Clank, like the list goes on and on. Super Mario 64 even is very, Voodoo Vince undoubtedly takes aspects from that. But this, I mean, nothing is compelling me to go back to this. I mean, what do you guys think? Is there something compelling you to go back to Phantom Dust to complete the single player, or play more online and buy like microtransactions?
No, but it's very compelling to reinstall it, to uninstall it again.
Yeah, as terrible as this game is, there should be no microtransactions whatsoever. They should get rid of that right from the get-go, because a lot of people are not going to be playing this for that long, and people are not going to be sinking dollars into these microtransactions in this game. It's not going to happen. So if they're trying to recoup costs by microtransactions, they made a huge mistake. Fable Legends, I was ready to drop like $100 down for like a villain pack in that game.
Yeah. I'm in total agreement. I think Fable Legends would have done way better than this, and I think they would have at least grossed more money. I don't know about net, but they would have grossed a lot more money on Fable Legends and gotten a lot more interest, just because of the Fable name and because games like that are taken off. I mean, games like that have taken off, and it makes the cancellation of Fable Legends look even worse to me now that this came out. And I'm not saying the developers, suck or anything. They had very little to work with. They tried to remaster a game that they didn't even have the source code. But nonetheless, I think it's not going to do well. And people are saying in the chat, it's free, so it's hard to get on a free game like this. But the free game is being put alongside, you know, the likes of like Halo Wars. Like people were saying, oh, 2017's got Halo Wars 2, it's got Phantom Dust. Like people were listing those in that order. Cuphead, you know what I mean? Ashen, you know, stuff like this.
If okay, and at the end of the day, as if you were a huge console fan, right? The last thing you want to enter in a conversation, if you're like talking about games with a buddy of yours who maybe plays like Switch or PlayStation, yeah, we just got Phantom Dust. I mean, could you say that? Could you really go up to them like, yeah, dude, we got Phantom Dust for free. I can't wait to get home and play this thing. I mean, I'm going to rock out on it all night long.
Absolutely not.
Laugh at your face.
Yeah, absolutely not. People are gonna say to me, oh, you know, have you checked out Phantom Dust? I'm gonna almost be like, oh, well, I mean, I guess I did. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go back to this. And this is just our opinion, obviously. You know what I mean? Like, if you like the game, then please like the game. Like, the multiplayer is for some people. You know, I'm not here to like dictate to people what to buy or what to try out. I mean, download it. It is free. And like Sobsky said, you don't have to play Phantom Dust. You can either play it or don't play it. And Sobsky apparently, you know, likes the game a lot, and that's good for you. Like if you like it, then like it. But I think if we're talking about mass appeal and we're talking about something to brag about for Xbox One, I think it's undeniable. I think it's unarguable that this is not a game that you'd bring up as something that Xbox has like over PlayStation, or if you engage in console wars, this isn't something that you know, put up as a check mark next to Xbox. I just don't think it is. Voodoo Vince, you know, maybe half the check mark. This, no.
See, yeah, with Voodoo Vince, though, at least the animations look pretty solid.
Yep.
Like, I will say that. I haven't played the game, but I know a lot of people that went to E3 and played it told me, you know, they said, hey, you know, it might not be for you. It's, you know, a very picky game. Don't pick it up because you're picky. So I was like, okay, I'll respect that. But the animations in that game look really fluid.
Yeah, and they are. They're not outdated like this. They're not outdated. And, you know, I feel bad like trashing it as much as I am, but I mean it's just my experience with it. I think it's all of it. You know, everybody in this panel has like a very similar experience. And when you're spoiled, you know, we're spoiled now by games that play a lot better than this, have smoother animations, that kind of thing. So remasters have to be very on point. Like if they have any kind of hint of being outdated, they're gonna get judged. And you know, if this game had come out in its entirety back on the 360 era, maybe I'd say, okay, they remastered it for the 360. It looks kind of good for 360. You know, maybe I'll give it a better chance. But now we're spoiled by other games that play a lot better than this. And you can't help but think like, oh, if they had done it like this and compare it to another game, or if they'd done it like this compared to another game, that it could have done well. But
yeah, I mean, we went from a big marketing hype and Hot Wheels expansion to Phantom Dust.
Exactly.
And, you know, even though I would say that Hot Wheels should be a standalone, like I really do think it should be for the $20, I would say $20 is better than free in this situation getting the Hot Wheels expansion.
Yeah. Sobsky admits, you know, games purely for the nostalgia factor. He's in it for the story. He remembers it being good in the OG Xbox. Yeah, you know, the nostalgia, you know, one of our friends, Mooch, you know, a friend of the channel, you know, says nostalgia is a hell of a drug. It really is. And once you get back into it, I think you're going to realize that it's not that great, honestly. The story could be, you know, Lord of the Rings level of storytelling, but if it plays like shit, it's shit. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go with you and Sobs getting that point. The story, you know, if the story's worth it, then yeah, give it a playthrough. But I wouldn't buy microtransactions. But I mean, like Fable on the OG Xbox had a great, excellent story, right? And they remade that game for 360, and the story was awesome, and the story still holds up to this day. So, I mean, if you're a Phantom Dust player for the story, then be my guest. I respect players who play for the story. Mm-hmm. I really do.
And I'm not gonna go on Twitter and be like you're a shithead for playing Phantom Dust. Like I would never do that. But I just don't think that this is the key for Xbox's success, and that sucks because, you know, even though we play everything here, we're primarily Xbox people, and we want to see, you know, Xbox succeed, at least compete. And I don't think with this they're even competing, to be honest. So. Anything else more about this? Assassin, you gonna re-download this and play it right away, or what?
Re-download it, uninstall it, hide it from lists, block it out of my memory.
Nice. Sagebot says, sounds like you guys want something to brag about more than anything. Yeah, I mean, as primarily Xbox gamers, we want something to brag about. Yes, I mean we do. And it's sad, even if it's an average thing to brag about, be like, yeah, we have this average experience. Yeah, I mean, we want something to brag about. I'm not going to hide that, but this isn't even average for me. So we can't even like pump it up a little bit. We have to be, we have to be honest about it. We're not going to fake pump it up and say it's amazing. It's Japanese experience everybody's looking for. We're going to be honest about it. So.
I'm glad Inferno brought up that point, because that's one thing when we started Four Guys with Quarters, all of us, one thing was that we would not be influenced by major media. We would not be influenced by other podcasts. We would always state our opinion, no matter how many other podcasts that we're on. We're not on one side more than the other. We're all of us are pretty neutral. We prefer Xbox and we love playing on Xbox because we love Xbox Live, but we always give everything a fair shake.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, Phantom Dust is done. Speaking of potentially another big Xbox blunder, no Halo 6 or Halo Anniversary at this year's E3. So no, there's not going to be a trailer. They're saying there's nothing about mainline story games. So, there's been conversations on Reddit from people that work for 343. It says there's no Halo 3 Anniversary. Like, it's not coming. They say it's not coming, and they say that there's no, this is all over Reddit. Reddit's a good. If you people don't have a Reddit account, you don't peruse Reddit, you should, because this is where the real people come out and talk in forums. NeoGAF to a point, but Reddit for sure. All this news about Halo 6 not coming to E3 and Halo 3 Anniversary not coming to E3 kind of came out on Reddit from reliable sources, people at 343. So neither of those are going to be at this year's E3. So do you guys, and Assassin's shaking his head, so definitely want to go to him first. Do you think this is a mistake, or do you think there's some other news about Halo that is going to be shown that is going to be about some side thing that is going to excite people?
Well, okay, so, it's a good thing. I'll start with that. I mean, I don't want another Halo 6, for now. Not another Halo 6. We haven't had a Halo 6 yet, but, that's kind of nice. For a Halo 3 Anniversary, I feel like it would have been the perfect time to show that off the Scorpio, which I'm a little sad about that they're not going to put it on, because, 10 years they've done it for Halo 2 and Halo 1. And then, again, it'd be nice to not have a Halo game this year, because we've had one since, as far as I remember. So,
well, I mean, Halo Wars 2 was this year. Are you excited?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think Halo. I hate to say this, but people have forgotten about Halo Wars 2 at this point. So
yeah,
I'll give you a pass on that. But. Yeah, I think people agree with you. Sovsky in the chat says, don't think we're seeing Halo 6 for another 4 years. I don't know if it's going to be 4 years, but I think they're gonna strategically space it out in a way that will get hype back, instead of doing the Call of Duty thing, releasing it every year. Even you see the likes of Ubisoft delaying putting out another Assassin's Creed game for another year. So the writing's on the wall. You shouldn't be doing that, probably, to maintain interest. You don't want to burn people out. So Clowns, what do you think? Is it good or bad thing, this news?
I'm kind of sad, because I expected Halo 6 to be released early next year. Because if you guys remember, we did have Steve Downs on the show, and he really couldn't say much, but there was talks of Halo 6 at the time. And just from what I had known at the time, I expected Halo 6 to be released early next year.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I know there is going to be... I know Halo 5 has dynamic resolution. I know Halo 5 is most likely going to get a sizable up-resing from Scorpio. But at the same time, it would have been nice to have like a Hallmark Halo game for Scorpio, and not necessarily at launch, but launch window, if you will, to really take advantage of the true 4K, native 4K, native 4K assets, not just up resolution or substituting assets for Halo 5 or something like that. But I'm pretty sure that is coming. And who knows about Master Chief Collection, whether those games are going to get up res to 4K or what have you. But yeah, no, Clowns, I agree with you. I think early next year would have been a nice time to bring it out, especially for Scorpio.
There's one thing we got to remember with Halo is that fans complain about Halo 5's story, right? Mm-hmm. So when, I don't know how to say it because we can't say too much, but one thing that I do know is that they wanted to make sure that Halo 6's story was great. Mm-hmm. So just have faith that it's possible they may have gone back and taken fan feedback seriously to fix some of this.
Yeah, there's definitely potential that what we're talking about an early next year release was probably on the table because it just makes sense to put it with Scorpio. But I think Clowns is right. I think a lot of people were dissatisfied with Halo 5. They may have been working on Halo 6 even before Halo 5 came out, and then the fans said that the story was not that great. There are people that did love Halo 5 story. I personally thought Halo 5 story was pretty good. Not the greatest, but I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was better than 4's, that's for damn sure. Sobsky agrees. He says he loves Halo 5 story. I don't know about love, but I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. I'd play it again, but I think you're right, Clowns. I think they probably have gone back to the drawing board a little bit, especially those people who say, that's enough of a lock. We want Master Chief. I think that they may have had more, written for lock than they should have, and maybe they're going back and changing that up a bit. So, that's a good point about refining the story. Because that could take, if the story's wrong, that could take years to fix. So people have to be patient.
Yeah, just redo animation, redo voice acting, redo some things and levels. And people weren't happy with the way that Cortana ended up appearing to be, like this evil woman about to take over the world kind of situation. I liked it. I thought it was a great plot twist. I saw Assassin cry over it. I saw some tears in his eyes. And it was
spoilers.
Like, huge spoilers. Huge spoilers.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody's played it by now, right? Everybody is watching. Sorry if you haven't. Just blame Assassin.
No, man. Me. I'm the guy who's saying that.
You need earmuffs. You need to, as soon as you start hearing that, if you're watching this later or you're watching it live even, just throw those earmuffs on really quick. But question in the YouTube chat, do you think Halo from Gaming Addict, you think Halo 6 is delayed till 2019? So that'd be another 2 years from now, and that would be what? Would that be 3 years from Halo 5? No, because Halo 5 came out in 2015, right?
Let's hope not.
Halo 5 release date. That came out in 2015 or 2016? I thought it was late 2015. Yeah, it was. Okay. So October 20. So it would be 4 years. Oh, man. I think that would be a long time. I would more expect it late next year, to be honest. But if they're not even going to show a teaser at this year's E3, man, it could be 2019. Assassin, what do you think?
I prefer 2019 because then they can pump out or get the game how they want it, put more content, get, like how they did with, Bungie did with ODST, but not make it ODST. Some side stuff, maybe like they did with, Reach and stuff. They could do something like that or, something else, take a break. Let us, like the Assassin's Creed, let us, cleanse our Halo palette, whatever, and then be like, bam, Halo 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I see both sides of it. I think it would kind of suck to push it off from the Scorpio launch that long, but I could see it. I could see it going to 2019. And people will be, and I think you're right, Assassin, I think people will be clamoring for it a lot more if it comes out in 2019. If there's hype, if there's built up hype ahead of time, kind of like what Sony has done for the next Last of Us game, that kind of thing. So, But yeah, Halo 3 anniversary, like you said, Assassin. They've done it for the first 2 games, and now they're not going to do it for this one. And if you miss it this year, I mean, you can't just do it next year, right?
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe, maybe they'll just announce that Gamescom, kind of like nonchalantly release it like they did with Phantom Dust. Throw some waves up,
Yep.
All right, so I think that's it for Halo 6. Good comments in the chat about that. Appreciate the the fan feedback there. All right, Assassin, I think something you're really interested in. I know you used to have this service, but you no longer do, as far as I know. Netflix is getting The Witcher 3. I don't know if it's The Witcher 3 or just The Witcher. I think it's just The Witcher.
Yeah.
So I think
It's based on.
Oh, go ahead, bud.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say, yeah, you're right. It's just The Witcher, and it's based on the books.
So it's based on the Witcher books. Now, is it a series or is it like a mini movie? I think it's a series, right?
I think they're turning it into a series. I think you're correct.
So yeah, there's going to be a video game series. So this has been toyed with before. I don't think in a scale anywhere close to what we should expect from The Witcher 3 or the Witcher series. A lot more game adaptations have gone to the big screen, of course, theatrical releases, Assassin's Creed most recently. There have been talks about Halo movies. There have been talks about Gears of War movies. There's been a ton of video game movies, and a lot of them don't do very well. So with that in mind, I'll go to our movie expert first, Assassin here, and ask him, do you think this is a better idea than making a movie about The Witcher? You think it's better to make a series exclusive to Netflix?
It's definitely better because with the movie, I mean, you can make sequels, but with the movie, you have to start it and then you have to end it. Unless you're, like I said, making a sequel. With a TV show, I mean, you have multiple hours across, different episodes. Kind of like, Game of Thrones or something. They have a high budget. They have like 10 episodes. And, it's start, finish, and then they continue. So, I mean, it's definitely a good thing. And especially with Netflix. I mean, I haven't seen any Netflix TV shows because I've had Netflix like 6 years ago, probably, maybe even longer. And people say they're good quality. So,
yeah, I mean,
good for them.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Assassin, were you not done?
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay. Clowns, you agree? You think this is a good idea?
I think it's a great idea because, like Assassin said, movies, I mean, you can make sequels, but they have to end them usually at some point after trilogies is when most die out. With a series like this, they can go on 5-6 seasons at least. I mean, look how long Supernatural has been going on, like 12 seasons, 13 seasons. Mm-hmm. And that's a pretty decent show for, what it covers. So Witcher being a Supernatural series as well would be epic on Netflix. I mean, they would have a higher production value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess, nothing is necessarily confirmed about this, but I guess they're pulling out all the stops. They're gonna, seriously find some, high-class actors on this. It's not gonna be like these B-listers you never heard of. They're gonna pull out all the stops and get some good people on this and get some good writing on it. But like Sim said in the YouTube chat, he says, it was originally a novel series, so it makes sense, and it's kind of like Game of Thrones, which was, started as books and then came to HBO. HBO, right? I don't even watch Game of Thrones, so
missing out.
Shame on you, Inferno.
But it's kind of like that. So I mean, the lore and the stories are kind of already written for them. They just kind of have to adapt it. Sometimes you get a video game movie where the story is there through the game, but they don't make it exactly to the game. Like Assassin's Creed is kind of like that. They take like bits and pieces from the game and then they adapt it to a movie and kind of like write a new script, just like that Super Mario Brothers movie that came out back in the day, right? One of the greatest movies of all time, right, Assassin?
No.
But yeah, it looks like that this is going to, Clowns makes a good point, Supernatural. It looks like it's going to be on that level and potentially of that duration. And if it does well, Netflix has the ability to renew things, I think, a lot easier than the major networks. So yeah, may it get more exposure if it were a movie or on a major network potentially. But you gotta remember, a lot of people have Netflix. A lot of people love their Netflix exclusive content, and like you guys both mentioned, the Netflix shows are, for the most part, excellent. Have high reviews, have held of high regard. Who hasn't heard of House of Cards, right? One of the better known ones. Orange is the New Black, stuff like that. Amazon has exclusives too, so I think it's actually a big move. I think it's a bigger deal for Netflix than it is for The Witcher, because The Witcher already does very well. CD Projekt Red has done a great job with the games and has made a lot of money on them, and people are just waiting for the next thing and still playing Witcher 3 on an active basis. But Netflix to cash in on a video game audience, to join their service to check this out, I think it's a big deal. It's a way better idea than a movie, because they can make a shitty movie and just ruin any chance of making like a show or a series like this in the future.
That Doom movie.
Like the Doom movie. I haven't seen the Doom movie. Is it terrible?
Yeah, with The Rock and some other people.
No, I haven't seen it, but I know exactly what you're talking about
now. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, exactly. So, Z Black Rider in the YouTube chat says Witcher 4 tie-ins. I don't know about that. I don't know if they'd spoil anything like that. Potentially, though. Potentially. So, yeah, that's what we know. If you like the idea, or if you don't and you haven't commented or anything, definitely leave a comment in the chat or in the comments afterwards if you're watching the replay, or definitely hit us up on Twitter and let us know what you guys think of Witcher coming to Netflix. All right, you guys are done with Witcher, right? Ready to move on? Ready to move on to, I'll say this for every topic this episode, Assassin's favorite topic of the week. Injustice 2 is finally out, and Assassin doesn't own it, but he wants to. So I'll rub that in his face a little bit. I own the game. I got a chance to play it a little bit before the podcast. I have my thoughts on it, but I know essentially nothing about the story, so I can't comment on that. What I will say is that it's finally out. People have been waiting for this game for a long time. If you're an Injustice fan, you are most likely a diehard and most likely have already purchased this. The reviewers are saying this is very good. IGN said exceptional. They gave it a 9 out of 10. Game Informer a 9 out of 10. GameSpot 9 out of 10. And Nerdist 4.5 out of 5. Those are the four they kind of feature on their site. And I'm a bad host because I did not get the Metacritic before the show, but I will do so now while Assassin talks about what he thinks of the story.
So obviously I don't own it, so I've been watching this YouTuber play through it, because he has different episodes of it or whatever. And I gotta say, I was kind of wrong on this game. Like, I hated the first Injustice game. I feel like I've said that a lot of times in parties and on the podcast. And Injustice 2's like campaign so far, like I've only seen like half, and it feels more like a movie and not just something that these guys threw together just to say we have a campaign, kind of like the Mortal Kombat X campaign. It's god awful, but this seems more like not like a Marvel movie standard, but better than Batman versus Superman or those type of DC movies that are coming out these days.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, that's what I was asking people. I was asking people on Twitter before grabbing, and I'm like, is Injustice 2 much better than MKX? People are saying yes. I ask about the story, because I remember MKX's story, like, yeah, it wasn't very fleshed out. It wasn't very good, but it was a fun way to play the game nonetheless. I mean, it didn't feel like, to me at least, it didn't feel like it was just like thrown in at the end. It felt like, there were scenarios, you went through, the characters, all the characters individually and stuff. It's not like you just pick one character and just blow through it. You gotta, each character has their own little story part or whatever. And it's amazing what these companies have been able to do with fighting games, with stories. Because, I mean, if you look at Street Fighter V in comparison, terrible story. Story mode wasn't even in the game at the beginning. But you got MKX, you got Injustice, made by the same people, correct?
Yep.
So, kudos to them for putting out games like this that have engaging stories for a fighting game. That's really, really good. Daz says Desirous, UK Desirous. Dazarus. Wow, I pronounced it wrong, even though I said I would pronounce it right on Twitter. UK Dazarus says at least MK put a story in. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, Mortal Kombat X, Injustice 2, both have, you know, at least fleshed out story modes. You know, ones that you don't just play for an hour. You know, they have ones that are deep. I would say Injustice 2, from what I've seen and what Assassin has said, is probably more fleshed out, but and more interesting. But I will have to play for myself to give a final opinion on that. Clowns, what do you think about what you've seen so far?
I haven't seen anything except the cover art. I don't know, man. Like, I think the hype's gonna die down, and I think it's gonna go on sale within 3 to 4 months, and then I'll pick it up for like maybe $39.
Yeah, I mean, it was already like my brother bought it digitally for $55, and I know that's not a huge discount, but it's almost 10% on a digital game and a brand new game, so that's promising for people who want to get it on sales like clowns. Like, if you're not sure about the game, I would wait a couple weeks. I would watch a lot of YouTube stuff because it does play a lot different from MKX. If you're thinking you're going to buy Injustice and it's going to play exactly like MKX, you are definitely wrong. It does not play exactly like MKX. There are a few differences I'll get to in a sec. But oh man, I would say I would agree with clowns. If you're not 100% into it, I would probably wait a couple weeks because I think it's going to come down in price. Not because it's not a good game, but because, you know, it is a fighter, and I think Clowns is right. The hype is going to kind of subside a little bit. Even though, you know, I just looked at the Metascore on Xbox One, it's an 88, PS4 an 87, so high 80s Metascore. That's pretty good. I mean, let me go look on OpenCritic, where we are one of the critics, by the way. We are an Open Critic, so check out our reviews there. Injustice 2. Let me see the score. 86 on OpenCritic. All right, so a little lower than Meta. But yeah, I mean, still high 80s, mid to high 80s. That's pretty good. So I don't know. I think the fighting is a little weird to me compared to MKX. I think the comboing is a little more natural in MKX. I feel like I don't like that the B button does like essentially nothing in this game, or the circle button. It's not really like an attack. I find it a little more difficult to chain combos than MKX, certainly. I do like the environmental interaction, just like MKX. I do like the super moves. I did this Aquaman super move, Assassin. Did you see that? Have you seen that one yet? Oh my god, dude. He drags the guy through the water and like pins him up against like a whale and shit, and the whale's like eating the guy. It's so sick. They're really over the top. I think they're way more over the top than Mortal Kombat's actually. But I don't know. We'll see about this game. I would love to find out like in a month from now how it is sold, because I know a lot of people are anticipating it, but it is a fighter, so fighters don't usually like sell a shit ton unless they're competitive ones like Street Fighter, and even Street Fighter didn't sell that well because at the beginning it was so gimped. But yeah, anything else about this, Assassin?
Nope.
You really want this game?
In the future.
Yeah, you do. I will say I'm having fun with it. Like the first few matches I had against my brother, I had some genuine fun. I just need to get better at it, and I think.
Inferno, be honest, did you have as much fun on that as you did on NBA Playgrounds against your brother?
Oh Jesus Christ, man! Don't get me started on NBA Playgrounds, man. We'll have a review for that very shortly on the site, and I'll give you a spoiler. It's not going to be very good. I'll give a higher review to Injustice at this point. But yeah, that's Injustice 2, so go check that out. Another one of Assassin's favorite topics, Ubisoft's financials kind of, they had their conference with, their investors and stuff. And they talked about how in the rest of this fiscal year up until, April 2018, they're going to release 4 big games at least. Far Cry 5, The Crew 2, the new Assassin's Creed game, and South Park Fractured But Whole, which got delayed but now has a release date, and I think it's in mid-October. South Park Fractured But Whole release date. I have to look that up.
Yeah, there's an article on N4G that talks about Ubisoft and it says that a takeover is very likely very soon.
Really?
Yeah, because they were having problems with that. I can't remember if it was Viacom or some company like Viacom that was going to do a takeover on Ubisoft by buying up the shares. And apparently the takeover is now likely to happen.
Interesting.
Get ready for a watered down crap if it does.
Yeah.
Well, it can't be any more watered down crap than it already is. So.
I don't know. Can we take his opinion seriously in front of him? He did play The Crew for a while.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't even think I have
great
that
point.
many hours in The Crew.
I'm going to look after the show. I bet you it's a lot.
I'm going to look now, actually.
Oh, Z Black Rider in the YouTube chat, Clown says it's Vivendi is the company taking over Ubisoft. That was it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely
That's right. That's it.
But
Thank
nonetheless, yeah, thanks for that. Appreciate it. Nonetheless, I mean, they're pushing out big titles. I mean, people have been wanting an Assassin's Creed game. I mean, taking a year off has done the trick. People are hyped for Assassin's Creed. The Crew 2, not so much. I'm really shocked they're making The Crew 2. Not as shocked as Project Cars 2, but I'm almost as shocked that they're making The Crew 2. I hope it's a lot better because I was really excited for The Crew 1. It was so terrible.
What? I mean, they could just take the Ghost Recon Wildlands engine now and just throw everything into it, and they could, make The Crew 2 off that and just smash each other's cars around.
Yeah, I could do that. What was I going to say? Oh, South Park Fractured But Whole. Yeah, it was initially supposed to launch on December 6, 2016. So everyone was hyped for it last year. Pretty sure my brother had it pre-ordered. And we still have it pre-ordered, obviously. But now it's coming out on October 17, 2017. So that's the only one out of these four that has an official release date at this point. But yeah, Assassin... I know Far Cry is one of your favorite series of all time. I know you play the Assassin's Creed games until, there's essentially nowhere left to go on the maps.
Or fall on the ground in Unity, according to him.
Right, or have no face in Unity.
Or get stuck in some hay.
Get stuck in some hay, or even The Crew, I know, like we said, was one of your favorite games of all time. So are you excited about this news?
Well, first off, I put 21 hours into The Crew.
That's a lot, dude, for a game that's not good. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
So be embarrassed.
Well, I think I played more, what is that shitty game I just reviewed? Sniper Ghost Crap Warrior 3.
Wow.
Probably the worst game I played on the Xbox One.
Wow.
And I played a lot of bad games, like Dishonored. But anyways.
Wow. I bet you haven't even put like 2 hours into Dishonored.
Now you're going to make me look. But Crew 2 is going to suck. Far Cry 5 is going to be like Far Cry 4 or Primal. It's going to suck. Fractured Butthole, that's going to be good. Assassin's Creed, it's going to be meh.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, they've had a couple years to work on it. They specifically said they're going to take a year off to make it better. You don't have any faith?
Not in Ubisoft, no. Man. All they do is make a huge open world game, sometimes small, litter it with collectibles, very repetitive side missions, a decent story. Sometimes it can get behind it. Sometimes it's Wildlands and utter trash. And they sell it to you for $60.
Well, I must say, I agree with what Halo Storm is saying in the YouTube chat, and I agree with what you're kind of alluding to, is that they're kind of wearing themselves thin and just copying the equation and putting it into the next game. And that's why I'm saying I'm hoping that Assassin's Creed, with this year off, they kind of go away from that. And with Far Cry, I hope they've learned their lesson, because this is with Far Cry Primal, that's like the second game that they did it with, I'm pretty sure, that where they just like copied the map and just put new stuff on it. Remember, they copied what was the copy in Far Cry Primal? They copied one of the, I don't know if it was Far Cry 4.
Far Cry 4's map.
Their map, and they just put new stuff on it. Like, that's just lazy, in my opinion. And for people to catch that so quickly, that means it was kind of obvious. So I hope that they flesh out some of this stuff a little more than what you're suggesting, Assassin. But yeah, how can you have faith when they've released so many games this year already? And like Hailstorm says, 4 more games by April 2018. I mean, that's a lot of games, man. That's a lot of games.
We should just see by now. We should expect the Valiant Hearts 2, because at least that was a good game, right?
Yes. No. I would love Valiant Hearts 2. I would love it. I would buy that day one. I would pre-order that shit. I think that game was excellent. I think that's the thing. I think Ubisoft, they dabble in so many different genres, man. I mean, if you look at just these lists, right? Assassin's Creed and Far Cry 5, okay, kind of similar. Like one's an FPS and one's third person, but same a lot of the same formula. You go around, you do the missions, collectibles, that kind of thing. The Crew, okay, that's a lot different than those two. South Park Fractured But Whole, way different from those two. Valiant Hearts, way different from all of these. Wildlands, I wouldn't say way different. I'd say it's kind of similar to Far Cry and Assassin's Creed in structure. You go around, you get the collectibles, you do the missions. It's a big open world. Crew is a huge open world too, but it's driving and there's a lot of customization of your car and a lot of upgrades you have to do and a lot of strategy involved. So, where Far Cry, I mean, you guys are both Far Cry fans more than I. You guys agree that with Far Cry now, it's not too much strategy anymore?
Far Cry, I hate to say it, should just stop being made because 4 and Primal were god awful, and I don't think 5 is going to help its name.
Yeah.
And 15 hours into Dishonored, by the way.
15 hours? Wow. No kidding.
But he has got like 10 minutes maybe in Dishonored 2.
I haven't even played Dishonored 2, and that's how bad it is.
I think he's got 15 hours into Dishonored, and those 15 hours are literally him on the pause menu because there's no way.
No, I beat the game.
Oh, did you? Wow, good for you.
Yeah, I beat it. What is that? I think it was like 63% of everything collected or something.
Wow, good for you. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you some credit. Sim says, and Sim makes an excellent point. It's a formula that works. Ubisoft games sell. They do sell.
Yeah, and then people buy them, and then they wonder why Ubisoft is just trash.
No, don't ever say that. I still love Ubisoft. They just had some bad moments here and there.
Bad moments. They haven't released really anything good besides like Siege. That is.
Yeah, but Siege is really good.
Yeah,
it's so
Siege
good
is like
that
the
Assassin
top,
won't
and then
play
everything is at the bottom. Well,
Yep.
because I'm a little mad at them for canceling Season 2.
Well, I don't know. I think Siege is like one of those games that's like so highly revered. I think it's up there with like Overwatch in that fact that like Siege can almost be seen as like not doing any wrong ever at this point.
I think.
Oh, go ahead, Klaus.
I mean, it's a great competitive game, and that's what they built it around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Fracture and South Park Fracture But Whole, like if you played Stick of Truth, you know that game is perfection in the genre, absolute perfection. Yeah. So you know this one is going to be exceptional. When that was delayed, who would get so upset about a friggin' South Park game, like a game based on a TV show? People don't get upset about games like that in the way that they were upset about Fracture But Whole being delayed, and that's because the first one was so good. So people have high expectations. Assassin's Creed speaks for itself. Like franchise is epic, iconic. Could be in the Gaming Hall of Fame at some point. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's got that type of impact. Far Cry not so much. Crew definitely not. But I think overall people are very happy about this news. I don't think as many people are thinking like Halo Storm is or like Assassin is or like I am really that they're wearing themselves too thin. I think people are overall happy about this stuff. So I don't know.
I mean, there's people that like a different niche of their genre. They're good at doing it. And there's some people that really love Far Cry and won't play Assassin's Creed. And there's some people that just love Assassin's Creed but won't touch the Crew. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just how they are as a company, and their studios are built around that way. Their environment is when they make their games.
Yeah, and to that point, Clowns, I mean, to feed off that, the reason that they're successful is because what you just said. Like, some people like Far Cry, but they hate all the rest of the stuff, and some people like Assassin's Creed, and some people like The Crew, and some people like Fractured But Whole, and some people like Wildlands. Like, they have something for everybody, essentially. Like,
yeah,
they have
absolutely.
something for just absolutely everyone. So it's a great point.
And to be honest too, I mean, their graphical style of animation and gameplay is decent. It's not like crap that they just put out and redo every year. I mean, they actually put at least some effort into the art style, and it's unique. I like it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the news. I'm worried they're wearing themselves thin, but Assassin's Creed, I'm very optimistic about. I don't know what Assassin's smoking that he doesn't think it's going to be good, but 2 years to work on it, over 2 years.
A year in between isn't going to make a game good.
I don't know.
Well, Assassin better change his gamer tag soon if he's no longer an Assassin's Creed fan. It just doesn't fit.
Yeah, you should be like ZBCI like Thief or Robin Hood. ZBCI Robin Hood.
Dishonored _ ZPCI.
Yep. All right. Other than that, I think that's it on Ubisoft news. You guys have anything else to say?
Yeah, Ubisoft, fix your shit.
I think they are. I think they're on the path to doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see.
I think
The Crew sucks, Far Cry 5 sucks, the Assassin's Creed does okay, and the Fractured But Whole does amazing. We'll find out.
You say that, but I think all of them are going to sell really well. I think Ubisoft is going to time it perfectly when there's a gaming drought, especially for Crew 2, and people are going to buy it just like they did the first one.
Listen, if I see a reveal of the Crew 2, if I see the Crew 2 at E3, and it's even like 20% better than the Crew 1, I'm buying it.
No, wait for the beta. Because remember, we played the beta, and it was god-awful.
Yep.
You hit a car and just do fucking donuts.
Yeah, the physics on that weren't that good. Hopefully they bring in some kind of third party to work on them with that, because those physics were just yikes. Speaking of Ubisoft, they're one of the 5 people, this kind of segues into our next topic, they're one of the 5 people that are having a conference this year at E3, so the press conference schedule is out for almost all of the press conferences, so they're here on the screen right now. You probably can't see them. You should go check out the official E3 Twitter for the full-size picture of this, so you can see, for your specific time zone where, how you can watch these things. But, Xbox is first this year before Bethesda, so that's a change. Then you got Bethesda, you got Ubisoft, you got PlayStation, you got Nintendo Direct, not a conference, for like the 5th year in a row. So Nintendo's skipping the traditional conference, even though they have the Switch dominating, essentially. And with the new 3DS news, the new 2DS XL, they're skipping a presser and doing their Direct thing. So we'll discuss whether or not that's a big deal. But then not on this list, which is interesting, is kind of like a wild card that's come into the fray and is having their own presser, and that's Devolver Digital. So kind of unusual for them to have one. I don't think they've ever done one. I know they're there at E3. They have their little section set up across the street where they have trailers and barbecue and drinks and stuff like that. But they don't have an official real presence. And now they're having their own conference, so that's kind of a big deal. Details are still not out on that, but yeah, what do you guys think of specifically?
You're botting.
Yeah, you're botting.
Stream went offline. Uh-oh.
What the hell?
Yeah, stream went offline. You're botting.
Hold on a second. See if we come back. Hopefully it's not a different stream. That is very weird, because my connection on Spotify never went to red.
Yep, we're live.
On the same video?
Yeah.
Wow. That was really weird. Sorry about that, people. All right, like we were saying, you guys surprised about Nintendo skipping this thing again, even though they have the Switch?
Yeah, because it's probably because Super Mario Odyssey is going to get delayed.
Oh Jesus, here we go.
I'm just being realistic, you know. This is the game everybody wanted this year from Nintendo, Super Mario Odyssey, right? Because you got the Mario Kart, you got the Zelda, and you got the Super Mario Odyssey. That's what everybody was looking forward to. Those three were like the trilogy that were gonna smack down on all other sales, you know, for those months. And no news on Super Mario Odyssey right now. It's like in the air.
Dude, I
The
don't know.
only
It's gonna be playable at E3, I heard.
the only thing that comes up 3 weeks ago in GameFAQs is that Super Mario Odyssey may get delayed to 2018.
I wouldn't be too surprised about that, but I guess there is gonna be a build at E3. If it's delayed to 2018, it better not be any later than like March, or else that's gonna be a problem. Because I know a lot of people bought this thing in anticipation of that game. I mean, how could you not? The game launched with like 5 games. The system launched with 5 games. One of them being potentially the game of the year this year, but nonetheless, one game doesn't sell systems, or shouldn't sell systems. It probably does, but shouldn't. You should, expect better and bigger things to come out, and more things to come out. But nonetheless, Assassin, you think this is a big deal? Nintendo doing another direct instead of having a conference?
I think they should have done a conference. I mean, they need to. I know the Switch is selling a lot, whatever, but they need to get more sales. They should advertise the thing. They should show things that maybe aren't coming out this year, but next year. Metroid game or something. Mario Party. I would prefer that. Skipping it's gonna think maybe they don't care about the product or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, they can have a direct and show those games, but they don't have people on stage playing it. They don't have people in the crowd reacting to it. It's literally just like watching a video. It's like those videos Nintendo Power used to send you back in the day of just the gameplay and used to get hyped up back in the day. Times have changed. Like, people want to see the hype. People want to see people in the crowd being like, "Oh," They come out and they hold up their Switch and there's like Metroid on the front, and it's like a classic Metroid game, like updated visuals, look incredible, like 60 FPS. They don't want to hear the people in the crowd going nuts. That's what happened last year at the Xbox conference when they revealed like the Xbox One S, and they revealed that Scorpio would be coming out this year. That was the hype. If they had a video of just Xbox employees talking and revealing the Scorpio, it wouldn't have gotten nearly the hype. I'm sorry, it wouldn't have. Even though it's an awesome thing, I don't think it would have, in my opinion. But I mean, then you got people like Devolver Digital coming in and doing their own conference. I mean, EA is holding their own thing, but they have their own event, EA Play. They just don't want to be at the same arena and be held to those standards. They want to have their own, freedom to do it. So people are still doing conferences. That's still a thing, People do Gamescom conferences. Conferences are a big deal. And to have people in there watching and to applaud and to build into the hype, that's a big deal. I think Nintendo Direct is a huge miss. So they're not even, and Nintendo's a weird company. They can get good press without working for it. You know what I mean? They can literally just have the game playable at E3, and people will walk up and play it and write an incredible article about how they played Super Mario Odyssey, or how they waited in line, for a whole day to play Breath of the Wild. And they get their own press. They don't even have to work. So I don't know, but people look out if you're interested in Devolver Digital conference. I mean, they've got some cool games coming out that people already know of, that I've already played, like Ruiner, which Xbox had at their booth at PAX East. So that's Devolver Digital. Like, if you're an Xbox person and you've been negative about Devolver Digital because they haven't been supporting Xbox in the past, they are starting to support Xbox now. Enter the Gungeons come out. Shadow Warrior 2 is coming, or is out now. Is that out now?
I don't know. It might be.
I think Shadow Warrior 2 is out now.
The only thing I'm looking forward to is Party Hard 2 in that type of genre.
Party Hard 2? Yeah, that's tiny build. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
I would love for some of these like big publishers to do... Like, Devolver Digital is a publisher, so I would love for publishers to have their own conference and to hype up their games even more to give indies a little bit of a boost. I think that would be a big deal. But yeah, Nintendo, like Gaming Addict says in the YouTube chat, I think they're missing out. I think they're definitely missing out. No one is hyped about the Direct. Like, people watch the Direct, but no one's hyped about that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, they could just get an orchestra like Sony did, and it'd be all over, right?
Jesus Christ, man.
They had that weird lady who sounded like she was throwing up.
Yeah. Or they could, you know what? They don't even need an orchestra. They can have the Wii music, right? They can go all on stage again like they did back then with Miyamoto on stage, like playing the drums and the violin and all that crazy shit.
Or they could be like, hey guys, we're going to display all these awesome virtual console games, except they're not coming out on the Switch just yet, but we're going to release some of them on the Wii U, so here's the Wii U gamepad for you to play on.
Oh, man. All right, well, Nintendo's doomed on this E3. I think they'll get good press because of what they have on the floor, but their Direct is... People are just not loving the Direct, man. If you're a Nintendo fanboy, please contact me. I want to get you on the show to talk about whether or not the Direct is a good thing, because I need to hear from somebody who's a Nintendo fanboy. All right, really quick, we'll end the show with our new topic, which is a weekly feature. You guys helped us name it for good. It's called the Weird News of the Week. So we got 2 Weird News of the Week topics this week. First and foremost, the biggest weird news of the week by far is that apparently some Mexicans were trying to smuggle spiders into the U.S., headed for Baltimore. They had fake Famicom carts loaded with tubes of live spiders that they were trying to smuggle into the U.S. Now, it's unfair maybe to say Mexicans. I don't know if they were Mexicans. You know, it was from Mexico, so I'm just assuming it was Mexicans, but there were 10 fake Famicom carts, and they had 73 spiders in them. So this is definitely some weird news. Clowns kind of brought it to my attention first. So, Clowns, what did you think of this article, man?
What the hell are they thinking, man? Like, what is the purpose of putting spiders in these things? I didn't read the full article because I couldn't stop laughing. But is it because they were selling, like, exotic poisonous spiders to people in the U.S., or were they, like, pissed at people and, like, yeah, we're going to get even with Americans and send out some poisonous spiders, and they're going to open these up and be like, whoa, spiders!
Yeah, I mean, what is the like? Were these like these random breed of spider that they wanted to just like take over the U.S. and like infect everyone, like anti-Spider-Man? Like, I just don't get it, dude. It was just. It's so weird. They didn't even say like why it was done. You know what I mean? I don't even know if they got a reason. They just like intercepted this and found all these fucking spiders in game cartridges. It was so weird. Assassin, what'd you think of this, bud?
Let's just say if one of those showed up, I'm sorry for the people who live in the radius around me, but I'm gonna nuke my house if that ever happens.
Could you imagine like somebody coming to your door and like just smashing down a vial of spiders and like you see these things just like crawling around? Like Sim just said in the chat, is this some kind of fucking like terrorism? Trying to introduce dangerous new spider species? Like that's how they're trying to get us now? It's like biological warfare, but not with like chemical weapons. It's like sicking spiders on us. Like Jesus, man. Assassin.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the articles now. They said that they actually put the spiders in vials inside the cartridges.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, there was like, I think each spider was in one vial. So I think there was 73 vials, and each vial had just one, I'm pretty sure. But so weird, man. So weird. We just had to include it.
Here's what Ben Prezzetti said in Nintendo Wire. He says, why were they being sent to Hanover? It remains a mystery. Were they part of an elaborate revenge scheme, or were they for a nobler cause, for someone who just really, really needed 73 spiders?
Yeah, no kidding. Like Maryland, of all places. I mean, I guess that's close to the White House, but Jesus, man. Kudos for catching that, by the way. Who the hell would inspect cartridges for spiders? Like, goddamn.
Neatly packed into vials. I mean, why?
A lot of effort. A lot of effort went to that. But that was definitely one of the weird news articles of the week. We had to include that. So let us know what you guys think of that, of course, in the chat, in the comments, or hit us up on Twitter about the story. We'd love to hear from you about that. And another weird news of the week is, I guess, a little more related to gaming. So the WWE and Psyonix, the creator of Rocket League, have come to an agreement to be partners in business. And you'd think, okay, well, does that mean Rocket League is going to get some like WWE themed cars or flags or, antenna objects or like boosts, like I don't know what kind of boosts you'd get for WWE, but you understand what I'm saying, or arenas, like maybe they're WWE like arenas or something. Nope, that's not what this is. Apparently, according to the press release, it is essentially so at live events, there's going to be Rocket League stuff set up at these live events. So, so SummerSlam, which is this summer, and Great Balls of Fire, I don't know what that is, and Backlash, all WWE events, there's going to be Rocket League playing stations, I guess, set up. And they say you'll have the opportunity to experience and play Rocket League at these arenas across the U.S. And it says, who said this? The executive vice president of global sales and partnerships from WWE, John Brady, says the integrated partnership with Psyonix will provide Rocket League with an opportunity to utilize WWE's global platforms and reach our passionate fan base, many of which are avid gamers. So, did this come off too weird to you guys too, or?
It's perfect because that WWE crap, whatever. People can play Rocket League instead of falling asleep watching this crap. So, good for them.
I'm confused.
Because wrestling shit is boring and stupid, so now they can play Rocket League instead of falling asleep.
I
probably just triggered a bunch of people.
Yeah,
but
you're gonna trigger a bunch of people. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I know Randall Thor 19 watches some wrestling, so he's in the chat. I think he's gonna be a little upset about that statement. But yeah, what are you expecting, Assassin? Are you expecting people to be like sitting there and be like, "Oh, this fight sucks. Let me get up and play some Rocket League"?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I expect him to walk out the door, but Rocket League's better.
Oh man, Clowns, what did you think about this, bud?
I don't see the purpose behind it, really. I really don't see the purpose. It could probably get a lot more Europeans into American wrestling, possibly, because Rocket League is very big in Europe and other markets than just America.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see a real business deal other than that for WWE. Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of like a pointless and mute point. Next, what are they going to do? Partner with like Pizza Hut and Domino's?
It's almost as outlandish and as different as them sponsoring like a food item. Like it's Rocket League and WWE have literally nothing in common. The only thing in common is that I guess both are played in arenas. And I say play, but you know what I mean. Like WWE fighters fight in arenas, and Rocket League is a game played in an arena. So that's the only thing in common I can see. Other than that, there's nothing in common. I just don't see how this agreement was even reached. I don't even know how it's mutual. It looks like the only one, what you just said is possibly how it would be mutual, Clowns. I mean, more people would get into WWE that play Rocket League. They'll probably have that announced like when you start the game and stuff. But it seems like Rocket League is going to get a lot more out of this than WWE, honestly. So, I just don't get it, man. Very
Rocket
weird.
League snacks and sodas.
What are Rocket League snacks? Please tell me what
Rocket League snacks are. Have like a Rocket League car, like chicken nugget.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Or and then have a cup that has Rocket League all over it. Maybe some corn dogs. I don't know what those people eat there. I don't know.
Yes, like corn dogs, like shaped as the boosts.
Yeah.
A little bit, or like a cup with the straw that, like, if you squeeze the cup, it like does one of the boosts like in your face. I know that probably is a little sexual, but you know what I mean. I don't know. Yeah, I mean themed. Like you go to a basketball game, there's like a souvenir cup. There's a themed cup for the team. Maybe there'll be like themed cups for Rocket League. Yeah, I mean maybe. maybe.
Have the wrestlers wearing Rocket League
Like
clothes.
leotard or whatever there is. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get to put like a belt on your car so and it's shiny and helps you hit the soccer ball.
okay, yeah. Yep. Okay, that's a good idea. I like that.
Instead of wrestling, they just put a giant soccer ball in the middle of the arena.
Can you imagine? They're like, the announcers from WWE are just like, whoa, and we have The Rock entering the ring, and he's going to kick that soccer ball. Oh, and we've got The Undertaker making his return from retirement. Oh, and he body slams a soccer ball. Like, can you just imagine this stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know. The press release said nothing about Rocket League getting WWE themed things. So I think that's really weird. I think that's obviously going to come, but who knows?
I asked my daughter about this, about her opinion, and she gave a very good 14-year-old opinion from a female perspective.
Mm-hmm.
She said, why do grown men wear tights and no shirt and still need a belt? She says it's the biggest point. It's the most pointless fight ever. That's what she said.
It is pointless.
It is. I mean, I know some people really love their wrestling, but does anyone really think that they're fighting anymore? I mean, let's just be real.
It's all fake.
You know,
To be honest, they just coin flip or something. Pull
in
straws.
the 1980s, right? I was really big into wrestling because my dad would watch it, and I didn't know all this, but he was actually friends back then with Andre the Giant and stuff because they would come into his pizza places. My dad had a lot of pizza places like in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, so they would come into his pizza places and stuff, and he would have me believe that these wrestlers were real, and then one day out of nowhere, after watching all these fights with him, he's like, "Yeah, it's all made up. It's a fake story." And he crushed my hopes and my dreams.
Oh, man. It's like learning Santa Claus is fake. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
My dream was crushed. And then he was like, would you like to meet Andre the Giant? I'm like, now that you told me it's fake,
Not
no.
anymore, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, so I think that's it for that stuff. Actually, it's it for the show. We don't have any more topics. We'll talk about the Destiny stuff probably more next week. I know it'll kind of be old then, but I didn't want to kind of like force it into the show without knowing everything. So I'm sure we'll have our thoughts on Twitter and stuff. By the way, follow us all individually on Twitter to get all of our individual thoughts, but also follow the show on Twitter. It's at 4GwQPodcast. That's our handle on Twitter. Please follow us on there. That's where you'll get updated info about when the show will start and for our giveaways. And, some of our thoughts about probably the Destiny stuff and other things that happen midweek. And, updates on articles that we write and news stuff and opinion pieces and some reviews that we've put up recently. So you guys can check those out. Let us know what you guys think. We'd really appreciate that. Also, we have a Facebook account that Assassin is doing nothing with, but we are going to start doing something with, right, Assassin?
Yeah, we're giving it to Taylor or something, right?
Yeah, we're gonna give it to Taylor to manage, I guess. Assassin has no interest. So give us
the way he said.
Give us a like on Facebook. 4 Guys with Quarters is our Facebook account. Also follow us on all the video streaming services. Beam, Twitch, YouTube, obviously. Hitbox, I guess we're on Hitbox. We never stream there. If you want to follow us there, go ahead. If you don't, I understand. Just search 4 Guys with Quarters and all those. You'll find us.
Go
ahead.
Real quick to the chat, everybody that's still watching, we need your help, and this is serious. Daz, Rand, all you guys, if you could help us out, hashtag ask Sassy and ask him anything, and we will make him answering on this show.
Or nothing. Just go on with
help
your
us
lives.
out. Help us out with that.
If we we're gonna make that a permanent. Yeah, we're gonna make that a permanent feature if we get good enough questions. So if we have questions every week, that's becoming a permanent feature, people. So get ready for that.
Or don't ask questions and we can have more topics.
Nope.
It's about other things.
No way.
No. Nope. Indeed.
All right. And also, check out our website, 4GwQPodcast.com. Obviously, we're on OpenCritic as well, so you can catch our reviews there. Just search us, you'll find us. But we have articles on 4GwQPodcast.com, and you can watch the past episodes there as well if you don't want to just search us out on YouTube. Our YouTube videos are on that site as well. So, yeah. And other than that, I think we're done. Assassin, what are you gonna be playing tonight? Anything?
Some Call of Duty.
Oh wow,
Zombies.
How predictable. Clown's gonna be playing anything tonight, or are you going to bed soon?
Probably not. The only thing I've really been playing is the Switch lately. I haven't been on Xbox in like maybe 4 or 5 weeks. I gave up on trying to catch up to Rand's gamer score.
Yeah.
So he just crushed my dreams with that too. I mean, the man with the million, and now he's already like way past that.
It's almost
so.
almost like 1.5 million. That guy. I know. What a crazy. As for me, probably will be playing Injustice. If you have the game and you want to fight, let me know. You'll probably kick my ass, to be honest, but I need some practice, so hit me up. I'm going to give Phantom Dust at least one more try. I have it on my PC. I'm going to check it out on there a little bit. But, yeah, maybe one more try on that. And, yeah, other than that, maybe some Battlefield. Who knows? I'm going away this weekend, but I will have my Xbox, so, hit us up if you guys want to play something. So, anyway, for that, we're out of here. Peace out. Until next week. See you.
Bye.